Can you hear this? A professor known for his sharp mind stands proudly in front of hundreds of students. His voice echoes through the lecture hall as he mocks Islam, laughs at the Quran, and makes fun of anyone who believes in God. But then this same man opens the Quran one night, secretly, and finds his own name inside. He drops the book. His heart starts racing. His arrogance begins to break. And what happened next shocked not only him, but his entire class. This is the story of Professor David Miller, the atheist who mocked the Quran until the Quran spoke back. Stay with me until the end, because this isn't just a story. It's a reminder that Allah guides whom He wills. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, would you challenge a professor in front of the whole class? David Miller wasn't just an atheist. He was proud of being one. Tall, sharp features, always wearing a suit. He was famous on campus as the professor who could destroy any religion using logic. He taught philosophy of religion at a top university in London, every year. Students filled his lectures because his debates were fiery and bold. If someone mentioned Christianity, he tore it apart. If someone mentioned Judaism, he laughed at its stories. But when it came to Islam, David's attacks became personal. Islam is stuck in the 7th century, he would say. The Quran, nothing but Muhammad's imagination. Students would chuckle, but not everyone laughed. In the middle sat Yusuf, a quiet Muslim student with calm brown eyes. One day, after a very harsh lecture, David pointed at Yusuf and said, "You, young man, you're a Muslim, right?" Yusuf nodded. David smirked and asked, "Why do you waste your intelligence on that book? The Quran is full of contradictions." The room went silent. Yusuf stood and calmly said, "Professor, with respect, have you ever read the Quran?" David laughed. "Why would I? I don't read fairy tales." Students laughed loudly, but Yusuf stayed firm. "Professor, don't mock what you don't understand. Read it sincerely and you may find what you're missing." Later in his office, surrounded by books of great philosophers, David stared at a green Quran that Yusuf had gifted him. He picked it up and said, "Let's tear it apart." He opened to the first verse. "This is the book about which there is no doubt." He scoffed, but as he read more, something felt different. It wasn't poetry. It wasn't normal writing. It wasn't arguing. It was declaring. He tried to ignore it, but night after night, he came back to it. At first to mock, then to question. Then slowly, to reflect. Weeks passed, and although he still taught confidently, inside he was restless. One night he read, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear that it is the truth." These were the same subjects he had studied his whole life. "Why does it feel like it's speaking to me?" he whispered. Then came the moment that changed everything. He opened Surah Maryam and froze. There it was in Arabic, Dawood, David, his own name. His chest tightened. No, this can't be. He read verses about prophets, arrogance, and rejecting truth. It felt like the book knew him. He slammed it shut, hands shaking. For the first time in years, he felt fear. Days passed with him pacing around, whispering, "This is psychology. Just my mind." But deep down he knew this was something else. Still, his pride stopped him. Accepting Islam meant losing his career, respect, everything. But what about his soul? Finally, one night, exhausted and alone, he whispered, "God, if you're real, show me." He opened the Quran again. The verse he saw said, "Indeed, Allah guides whom He wills." The next morning he walked into his lecture hall trembling. Students expected the same proud professor, but he looked weak. He stared at the Quran on his desk. Then he said, "I can't keep lying. I mocked this book. I laughed at it. But when I opened it, I found myself..." The class froze. Some whispered. Some leaned forward. Some laughed nervously. Then David said the words that changed everything. "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger." The atheist professor became a Muslim in front of his entire class. News spread everywhere. Some professors mocked him. Others tried to protect him. But David now Dawood felt peace for the first time in years. He no longer taught arrogance. He started teaching humility and truth. As for Yusuf, he simply smiled, knowing his courage had played a small part in something big. Years later, when asked why he accepted Islam, Dawood always said, "I mocked the Quran. But the Quran called me by name. Now I ask you, if Allah guided a man who insulted his book in public, what does that say about his power to guide you?" Tell me in the comments. Does guidance come only when we look for it? Or can it come even when we run from it? And if this story touched your heart, type Allahu Akbar below. Share this video with someone who doubts Islam. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories. May Allah guide us all to His truth. Asterisk, this story teaches us a powerful lesson. No matter how proud, arrogant, or far from faith someone may seem, Allah's guidance can reach anyone at any time. Even the most stubborn hearts can change when faced with truth and sincerity. It reminds us to never underestimate the power of patience, courage, and sharing knowledge with kindness. Just like Yusuf's quiet bravery touched David's heart. Our small acts of faith and sincerity can inspire others in ways we may never see. Always trust that Allah's wisdom and guidance can turn even the most unlikely situations into a path of light and truth.